Picture this. It's a crisp morning and you're already on edge, racing against the clock to get ready for the day. You've got a big meeting at work, and every second counts. You grab your favorite coffee mug, but in your hurry, your elbow catches it. Crash. Dark liquid spills across the counter, soaking your freshly printed presentation notes. Your heart sinks. Frustration surges like a tidal wave, and you're this close to snapping. Maybe a few choice words slip out under your breath, or you clench your fists, wondering why today had to start like this. Sound familiar? We've all been there, caught in those moments where life feels like it's conspiring to test our patience. The spilled coffee, the traffic jam, the snarky email. It's as if the universe is daring you to lose your cool. But what if there's a way to sail through these storms without getting swept away? What if, instead of letting the chaos control you, you could choose calm, strength, and clarity? That's exactly what we're exploring today, drawing on the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy that's been a lifeline for centuries, straight from the mind of Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king himself. He once said, "Our life is what our thoughts make it," and those words are like a compass for navigating life's ups and downs. Your thoughts shape your reality, and by letting go of certain habits, mindsets, and burdens, you can reshape your world into one that's lighter, wiser, and truly yours. In this journey, we were diving into 11 things you can quietly cut out of your life to transform your inner landscape. These aren't loud, dramatic changes that demand a spotlight. They're subtle shifts that happen within, where the real work of growth takes place. From toxic relationships to the weight of unrealistic expectations, we'll explore what's holding you back and how to release it without fanfare. This isn't about quick fixes or flashy promises. It's about practical, grounded steps rooted in Stoic principles that have guided people through chaos for centuries. Think of it like decluttering your mind, clearing out the noise so you can make space for peace, purpose, and resilience. Each point we cover is a chance to reflect on your own life, to ask yourself, what am I holding on to that's weighing me down? Maybe it's the need to explain yourself to people who don't deserve your energy, or the habit of comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel. Whatever it is, this is your invitation to let it go and step into a stronger version of yourself. This isn't just a listen and forget kind of journey. It's an interactive experience. As we go through these 11 things, I want you to think about what resonates with you. Maybe you'll recognize a habit you've been stuck in, or a mindset you're ready to release. I'll share stories from my own life, moments where I've tripped over these same obstacles and found my way back to calm. And I'd love for you to join in. Think about your own experiences. Maybe jot down a thought or two or share your insights in the comments below. This is about growth, not just for me or you, but for all of us walking this path together. So, grab a coffee, maybe in a spill-proof mug this time. Settle in, and let's uncover a path to a life that's not just calmer, but stronger, wiser, and deeply authentically yours. Ready to take the first step? Let's dive in and start letting go. Letting go of toxic ties, protecting your peace. Let us start with something that can weigh heavy on your heart, relationships that hurt more than they heal. Picture this. You've got a friend, someone you thought was in your corner. You trusted them with your dreams, your fears, maybe even shared your coffee on a good day, laughing over small moments that felt big. You opened up, let them in, built memories together. But then something shifts. Maybe they spread a rumor about you, whispering half-truths behind your back. Or they're always putting you down, their words sharp enough to make you feel small, like you're never quite enough. You're left hurt, replaying every conversation in your head, wondering where it went wrong. What did you say? What did you do? Your heart's heavy, and there's this urge to confront them, to lay out every way they've wronged you, to demand an apology or an explanation that'll make it all make sense. But here's what the Stoics, those ancient guides to a grounded life, would tell you. You don't owe them that. You don't need a dramatic showdown or a long, exhausting speech to justify walking away. The smartest, strongest move you can make? Quietly step back and protect your peace. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, who faced his own share of betrayals, dropped a gem that cuts through the noise. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. Think about that for a second. Don't stoop to their level. Don't let their actions drag you into a spiral of drama or bitterness. Their betrayal doesn't define you. Your response does. If they come crawling back, asking for your help after shattering your trust, you don't have to play the hero. A simple no is enough. You're not obligated to fix what they broke, to mend a bridge they burned. I've been there, caught in the trap of wanting to explain myself to someone who hurt me, thinking if I could just make them see, things would change. But all it did was drain me, pulling me further from the peace I craved. Letting go doesn't mean you're weak. It's a quiet act of strength, a choice to value your mental health over their chaos. Your peace, your growth, your well-being, they're worth more than keeping someone in your life who doesn't respect you. Everyone deserves to be surrounded by people who see their worth, who lift them up instead of tearing them down. Stepping away from those who don't isn't running away, it's bravery. It's choosing yourself over unnecessary pain, saying, I deserve better. And you do. Think of it like clearing out clutter from your home. Sometimes you've got to let go of what's weighing you down to make space for what truly matters. The Stoics remind us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, our boundaries. You can't control how others treat you, but you can control how you respond. So take a deep breath, feel the weight of that hurt, and then let it go. Don't waste your energy on long explanations or endless arguments. Instead, pour that energy into the people who make your life brighter, the ones who listen, who cheer you on, who remind you of your worth. That's where your heart belongs, in the company of those who build you up, not break you down. As you move forward, let time reveal the consequences of their actions. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself, cultivating a life rooted in peace and authenticity. That's not just revenge, it's freedom. Releasing unnecessary goals, focusing on what matters. Let's talk about something we all wrestle with at some point, goals. We set them with fire in our hearts, don't we? Big, bold dreams that light us up, running a marathon, mastering a new language, or climbing the career ladder faster than anyone else. You can picture it, crossing that finish line, speaking fluently in a cafe abroad, or landing that corner office with your name on the door. Those goals feel like promises to ourselves, markers of who we want to be. But life, as it so often does, has a way of shifting under our feet. Maybe your body starts aching halfway through marathon training, whispering for you to slow down. Maybe that language class, once exciting, now feels like a chore that knots your stomach with stress. Or perhaps that dream job doesn't spark joy anymore. It just feels like a grind. The Stoics, with their clear-eyed view of life, would tell you something powerful. Letting go of goals that no longer serve your true purpose isn't a failure. It's wisdom. It's about staying true to the person you are right now, not the person you thought you'd be when you set those goals. Seneca, one of the Stoic greats, hit the nail on the head when he said, "It is not that we have so little time, but that we lose so much." Think about that for a moment. Every day we're given a finite number of hours, yet we often spend them chasing things that no longer align with who we are at our core. Maybe you're pouring energy into a goal because it sounded impressive years ago, or because someone else, society, family, or even your younger self, told you it's what you should want. But if that goal leaves you feeling empty, disconnected, or just plain tired, it's time to ask, does this still serve me? Does it light up my soul, or is it weighing me down? Letting go of these outdated ambitions isn't about giving up. It's about reclaiming your time and energy for what truly matters. It is like pruning a tree in your garden, cutting away the branches that no longer bear fruit so the rest can flourish. You're making space for growth, for goals that resonate with the person you are today. Here's the key to doing this with grace. Keep it quiet. You don't need to broadcast every shift in your plans on social media or explain yourself to everyone who asks, "So what happened to that big goal?" There's real power in privacy, in holding your strategy close as you navigate life's twists and turns. I learned this when I let go of a career path I'd been chasing for years. It looked perfect on paper, prestigious, secure, the kind of thing people clap for. But it wasn't me anymore. Instead of announcing my pivot to the world, I made the shift quietly, exploring new passions without the pressure of outside opinions. That silence gave me clarity. It let me focus on what felt right, not what looked right to others. Imagine swapping that marathon for morning yoga sessions that bring peace to your body and mind, or trading those stressful language classes for journaling, where you master your own thoughts instead of verb conjugations. Whatever it is, make those adjustments subtly, always checking in with your core values. To ask yourself, does this goal reflect who I am now? Does it move me toward a life that feels authentic? By trimming away what no longer fits, you simplify your path and pour your energy into what makes your heart sing. That's not just wisdom, it's freedom, the kind that lets you live a life that's truly, deeply yours. Keeping breakups private, healing with dignity. Let's dive into something deeply personal. Relationships that end, whether it as a friendship that once felt like home or a romance that burned bright until it didn't sicumonte. When those connections fall apart, it's like a piece of your world crumbles. You're left with a tangle of emotions, hurt, anger, confusion, and it's so natural to want to talk about it, isn't it? Maybe you re-itching to tell your co-workers why you and your best friend aren't speaking anymore, or you re-tempted to post a cryptic story online about what went wrong in your last relationship. You want the world to know your side, to validate your pain, to make sense of the mess. But the Stoics, with their steady wisdom, would raise a gentle hand and say, hold back. Oversharing the intimate details, those late-night arguments, the betrayals, the reasons it all fell apart, doesn't just disrespect the privacy you once shared with that person. It also stirs up gossip, like throwing kindling on a fire, making everything messier than it needs to be. Instead, they'd urge you to turn inward, to process the pain privately, so you can heal with dignity and come out stronger. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher king, put it beautifully. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That's the core of this idea. You can't control what happened in that relationship or how the other person acted, but you can control how you respond, how you heal, how you grow. When you feel that urge to spill every detail to friends, family, or even strangers online, it might be a signal that there's still emotional baggage to unpack. Instead of turning your pain into a public performance, try turning inward. Grab a journal and pour your thoughts onto the page. Ask yourself, what happened here? What did this teach me? Maybe that friendship showed you the importance of setting boundaries, or that romance revealed what you truly need in a partner. Someone who listens, who respects your heart. I've been there, reeling from a falling out with a friend, wanting to tell everyone how they'd let me down. But airing it out only made me feel exposed, like I'd given away a piece of my own story. Keeping it private, writing it out, reflecting quietly, that's what helped me find clarity and peace. By choosing to keep the end of a relationship private, you're not hiding or bottling up your feelings. You're honoring the sacred space that once existed between you and that person, even if it's gone now. You're also protecting your own heart from the chaos of gossip, from the opinions of people who don't truly understand what you're going through. It's like closing the door on a room that's no longer yours, letting the dust settle without inviting the world to poke around. This approach isn't just about respect for the other person. It's about respect for yourself. It's choosing a quieter, more dignified path to healing, one that leaves space for growth that's real and lasting. Think of it as a gift you give yourself, the chance to process, to learn, to move forward without turning your pain into a spectacle. Next time you're tempted to overshare, pause, take a deep breath and ask, will this help me heal or just keep me stuck? Then, choose the path that leads to strength, a path that's yours alone, paved with lessons, reflection, and the quiet power of moving on. Mastering your voice, staying calm in the storm. Let us shift gears to a moment we've all faced, those times when frustration or anger bubbles up inside you, threatening to take over. Picture this, you're in a high-stakes meeting at work, papers scattered across the table, tension thick in the air. Your co-worker, the one you've been collaborating with for weeks, just threw you under the bus claiming credit for your idea. Your heart starts pounding, your face flushes, and you can feel the heat rising in your chest. The urge to raise your voice, to let that anger explode in a sharp, cutting shout is almost overwhelming. Sound familiar? We've all been there, caught in that moment where the world feels like it's daring you to lose your cool. But what if, instead of giving in to that urge, you took a deep breath, steadied yourself, and spoke softly, channeling that fiery energy into calm, deliberate words? That's the Stoic way, my friend. And it is not just about keeping up appearances or avoiding a scene. It is about mastering your inner storms and coming out stronger. Heraclitus, a philosopher the Stoics held in high regard, said something that cuts right to the heart of this. To be even-minded is the greatest virtue. Think about that for a second. Staying calm when everything around you is screaming for chaos. That's not just control, it's courage. It's like standing in the eye of a storm, unshaken, while the winds howl around you. Your ability to stay steady, to keep your voice low and your words measured is your greatest weapon, your truest form of bravery. I remember a time when I was in an argument with a friend, and I could feel the anger rising, urging me to yell. But I paused, took a breath, and spoke quietly instead. The shift was instant, not just in me, but in the whole room. The tension eased, and we actually started listening to each other. Now think back to a moment you saw someone lose their cool, maybe a friend shouting in a heated argument, or a stranger snapping at a cashier over a small mistake. How did it make you feel? Uncomfortable, right? Maybe even disappointed, like their outburst dimmed their light a little. Now picture someone who stays serene, their voice a soothing balm amidst the chaos. That's the person we all admire, the one we want to be, isn't it? This isn't about bottling up your emotions or pretending you're not upset. It's about taking that raw, fiery energy and transforming it into something productive, something that moves you forward instead of holding you back. The Stoics saw this as a kind of soul alchemy, turning frustration into focus, anger into action. It's not easy, I'll admit. When your blood's boiling, shouting feels like the natural release. But yelling rarely solves anything. It just leaves everyone rattled, including you. Instead, try this next time you feel that wave of emotion surging. Pause. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel the air fill your lungs, grounding you. Then speak in whispers when the world expects shouts. It's like flipping a switch. Suddenly, you're not just reacting. You're responding with intention. You're turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones, showing yourself and everyone else that you've got the power to rise above the chaos. That's not just a skill, it's a superpower, one that's uniquely yours. So the next time life tests your patience, whether it's a co-worker's slight or a family argument, remember, you have the strength to stay even-minded. Use it and watch how it transforms not just the moment but the person you're becoming. Rising above negativity, choosing empathy over judgment. Let us dive into something we've all been tempted by at some point, spreading negative opinions about others. Picture this. You're grabbing coffee with a friend and they start venting about someone they can tea-stand. Maybe a co-worker who botched a project or a mutual acquaintance who rubbed them the wrong way. That's juicy, isn't it? The gossip feels like a quick way to bond, to share a moment of can you believe them. But then, as the words hang in the air, a thought creeps in. What do they say about me when I'm not around? That's the sting of negative talk. It's a slippery slope, easy to slide down in the heat of the moment. But those words cling to you like shadows, casting a dark light on your character. I've been there, caught up in a conversation where it felt so satisfying to pile on, only to walk away feeling off, like I'd betrayed a part of myself. The Stoics, with their razor-sharp wisdom, would say there's a better way to handle those moments. Choose empathy over disdain, conversation over conflict. It's a path that not only keeps your integrity intact, but also builds stronger, more authentic connections. Every person you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. That co-worker who messed up that big presentation. They might be juggling stress at home, barely keeping it together. That friend your buddy's complaining about. They could be wrestling with a loss or a fear they're too proud to share. We're all human, carrying invisible burdens, and it's easy to forget that when frustration takes the wheel. The Stoics would urge you to pause in those moments, to take a breath before letting your judgments fly. Then, instead of adding fuel to the fire, try shifting the narrative. Ask yourself, what's their story? What challenges might they be facing? Maybe that co-worker stayed up all night with a sick kid, or that friend is acting distant because they're struggling to find their footing. I remember a time when I was quick to judge a colleague for missing deadlines, only to later learn they were dealing with a family crisis. That hit me hard. It reminded me that everyone's got their own weight to carry. By choosing to see their humanity, you're not ignoring your feelings. You're weaving a richer, more compassionate understanding of the complex tapestry of human emotions. This approach isn't just about keeping the peace, it's about building bridges. When you choose empathy, you become someone others trust, someone who can navigate relationships with finesse and heart. It's not always easy, I'll admit. There are moments when joining the negative talk feels justified, almost righteous. But here's a challenge. Next time you're tempted to criticize, pause. Picture the person in question as someone with their own struggles, their own triumphs, just like you. Would you want your lowest moments to be the topic of someone's coffee chat? Instead, try steering the conversation towards something positive, maybe a shared interest or a kind observation. I started doing this and it was like flipping a switch. People opened up more, trusted me more, because they knew I wasn't here to tear anyone down. That's the kind of person you want to be, right? A beacon of kindness in a world that's often too quick to judge. By choosing empathy over judgment, you're not just avoiding negativity, you're creating a space where real connection thrives. It's a small shift, but it's powerful. It makes you someone who lights the way for others, someone who sees the humanity in everyone, and that, my friend, is a legacy worth leaving. Breaking the comparison trap, embracing your unique story. Let's tackle something that can drain your joy faster than anything else, comparing yourself to others. It's like running on a treadmill with no off switch, isn't it? You're scrolling through social media, and there it is. Someone's picture-perfect vacation on a sun-drenched beach, their announcement of a shiny new job, or a glimpse into their seemingly flawless life. Suddenly your own milestones, the late nights you poured into a project, the small victories you celebrated with quiet pride, start to feel like they don't measure up. You begin to wonder if you're falling behind, if your life is somehow less than theirs. It's exhausting, unending, and it chains you to a cycle of self-doubt and dissatisfaction that's hard to escape. I've been there, staring at a friend's post about their latest achievement, feeling like my own path was somehow lacking. But the Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, offer a way out of this trap. And it starts with one simple truth. Your life is yours alone, and embracing your own story is the key to breaking free. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who knew a thing or two about staying grounded, said it best. Control your perceptions, direct your actions properly, willingly accept what's outside your control. That's the heart of it. Focus on your own path, not someone else's. Life isn't a neatly scripted series where everyone's reading from the same script, hitting the same milestones at the same time. It's messy, unpredictable, and beautifully, uniquely yours. Comparing yourself to others is like trying to measure a sunset against a starry night. They're different, and that's what makes them breathtaking. What if instead of looking sideways, you started celebrating your own quirks, your missteps, your victories, no matter how small? Maybe you didn't get that big promotion, but you've learned to speak up in meetings, your voice steadier than it was a year ago. Maybe you're not jetting off to exotic destinations, but you've built a cozy home that feels like a sanctuary, a place where you can breathe. Those are the moments that define your resilience, the threads that weave the raw, unfiltered beauty of your journey. I remember a time when I was obsessed with comparing my career to my friends. Their LinkedIn profiles sparkled with promotions and awards, while I felt stuck, like I was lagging behind in some invisible race. But then I took a step back and looked at my own story. I'd grown in ways I hadn't noticed, handling tough conversations with grace, finding joy in small creative projects, building relationships that mattered. That shift in perspective was like turning on a light. My path wasn't theirs, and it didn't need to be. So here's a challenge for you. The next time you catch yourself comparing, stop. Take a moment to write down 3 things you love about your life right now. Maybe it's the way you make your morning coffee just right, or a skill you've honed through hard work. Let those things anchor you. Dive into your own narrative, the ups, the downs, the triumphs, the setbacks, and own it with pride. You're not behind. You're exactly where you're meant to be, writing a story that's yours alone. The Stoics remind us that our power lies in how we see ourselves, not in how we stack up against others. So, celebrate your journey, every imperfect, beautiful step of it. That's where your strength lives, and that's what makes you unstoppable. Mindful social media, reclaiming your narrative. Let's zero in on one of the sneakiest culprits behind comparison, social media. It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? On one hand, it's a brilliant tool for staying connected with friends, finding inspiration for your next project or learning something new like a recipe or a life hack. But on the flip side, it's a curated highlight reel of everyone else's best moments, polished to perfection. You're sitting there, maybe after a long, messy day, scrolling through posts of sun-soaked beach vacations, flawless family photos, or someone's shiny new job announcement, and suddenly your own life feels small in comparison. Your cozy night in with a book or that small win at work, those moments that felt meaningful just hours ago start to seem like they don't measure up. I've been there, thumb hovering over my phone, wondering why my life doesn't look like that. The Stoics, with their knack for cutting through the noise, would say it's time to take back control. Approach social media with intention, use it mindfully, and don't let it drag you into a spiral of self-doubt. Your life is a unique narrative, woven with rich experiences, quiet triumphs, and personal growth. Social media, with its glossy snapshots, can't capture that depth. It's like comparing a single photo to a whole novel. It's not a fair match. The Stoics would urge you to focus on your own story, not the filtered snippets of someone else's. So how do you do that? Start by setting boundaries. Try scheduling specific times to check your apps, maybe during your morning coffee while the world's still quiet, or after dinner when you're winding down. That way, social media doesn't creep into every corner of your day, stealing your focus. Before you dive in, pause and ask yourself, is this constructive or just a distraction? If you're logging on to connect with a friend, find inspiration for a hobby, or learn something new, awesome, go for it with purpose. But if you're just mindlessly scrolling, losing hours to videos or posts that leave you feeling less than, it's time to step back. I started doing this after noticing how a quick scroll could turn into an hour of feeling inadequate. Setting a 15-minute timer for my social media check-ins was a game changer. It kept me intentional and grounded. Here's another tip. Pay attention to how social media makes you feel. If you notice your mood dipping, maybe you were feeling worse about yourself after seeing those perfect posts, it is a sign to take a break. I took a week off social media once, and let me tell you, it was like lifting a fog. I had time to go for walks, cook a favorite meal, or call a friend and actually hear their voice. Those real-world moments reminded me of what truly lights me up, far more than any algorithm-driven feed ever could. The Stoics would nod in approval here, encouraging you to focus on what's within your control, your time, your attention, your joy. By being mindful, you create space to appreciate your own narrative, free from the endless comparisons that social media loves to spark. It's about choosing what enriches your life, not what the algorithm pushes in front of you. So next time you're tempted to scroll, pause. Ask yourself what you're really seeking, and if it's not adding value, pivot to something that does. Your story, messy, real, and beautifully yours, deserves that kind of care. Let's keep it vibrant, grounded, and true to who you are. Letting go of external validation, living for yourself. Let us dive into something that can quietly trap us in a cycle of insecurity, the pursuit of external validation. Picture this. You're standing on a stage, a harsh spotlight blazing down, surrounded by a sea of faces, each one poised to judge your every word, your every move, even the way you exist. It's overwhelming, isn't it? Your heart races, your palms sweat, and you feel this pressure to perform, to mold yourself into what you think the crowd wants. That's what living for others' approval feels like, suffocating, restrictive, like you're wearing ill-fitting clothes just to please someone else. I felt it, that gnawing need to be liked, to have my choices validated by friends, colleagues, or even strangers online. But the Stoics, with their clear-eyed wisdom, would gently pull you off that stage. They'd lead you to a calm, quiet space where your own voice matters most, where your inner compass guides you, not the fleeting judgments of others. That's where true freedom begins. Think back to the moments in your life when you felt truly fulfilled, when your heart was full and your soul was at peace. Maybe it was a quiet evening spent painting, losing yourself in the colors and brushstrokes, not caring who'd see the canvas. Or maybe it was a time you stood up for something you believed in, even if it wasn't the popular choice, and felt that surge of quiet strength. Those moments, they likely happened when you were true to your own values, not when you were chasing applause or approval. Living for others. Validation pulls you away from your true self. It is like letting someone else write the story of your life, handing them the pen to script your choices. I've been there, tweaking my decisions to fit what I thought others expected, only to feel hollow afterward. The Stoics remind us that our power lies in our own minds, in choosing to live authentically, guided by what resonates with us. So, how do you break free? It starts with introspection, that quiet act of turning inward. Before you make a decision, whether it's taking on a new project, saying yes to a social invite, or even posting online, pause and ask, am I doing this for me or for them? Trust your intuition, that inner voice that knows what feels right. Acknowledge your needs, whether it's rest, creativity, or time to grow. Building self-esteem is key here. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small, like finishing a tough task or having a tough conversation with grace. Learn from your mistakes, not as failures, but as stepping stones that shape who you're becoming. I started doing this, and it was like shedding a heavy coat. Saying no to a request that didn't align with my values felt like reclaiming a piece of myself. Surround yourself with people who respect your individuality, who cheer for the real you, not the version that fits their mold. These are the relationships that lift you up, that make your journey brighter. This is a journey of small, meaningful triumphs, choosing a path that aligns with your heart, even if it's not the one that gets the loudest claps. It's about valuing your own qualities, quirks and all, and letting go of the need for external approval. By shedding that weight, you pave the way for a life that's authentic, fulfilling, and deeply yours. The Stoics would say you're not just living, you're thriving, writing a story that's true to who you are, page by courageous page. So step off that stage. Listen to your own voice. It's the one that matters most. Releasing perfectionism, embracing your humanity. Let us dive into something that can quietly sneak into our lives and pile on stress without us even noticing. Perfectionism. We all want to do our best, don't we? Whether it's nailing a work project, crafting a piece of art, or even just planning a family dinner. We aim high, but perfectionism takes that drive and twists it, setting impossibly high standards that leave us feeling like we're never good enough. Picture this. You've spent hours tweaking a presentation for work, rearranging slides, rewriting sentences, only to beat yourself up because it still doesn't feel perfect. Or maybe you've got a sketch you poured your heart into, but you hesitate to share it because it doesn't match the flawless vision in your head. I've been there, agonizing over every detail of a project, convinced that one tiny flaw would define its worth, and mine. The Stoics, with their grounded wisdom, would say that chasing perfection isn't just exhausting. It is a barrier to real growth and happiness. Instead, they'd urge you to embrace your imperfections, because those messy human moments are what make you, well, you. Life, much like art, is so much richer when we leave room for the imperfect. Think of a handmade pottery mug. The little dents and uneven edges give it character, don't they? That's what your imperfections do for your story. The Stoics teach us that mistakes aren't failures. They're stepping stones, part of the learning that shapes who we are. To break free from perfectionism, start by accepting your limitations. You're human, not a machine, and that's a beautiful thing. Shift your goal from being perfect to being excellent, doing your best while knowing there is always room to grow. I remember reworking an essay for days, chasing some unattainable ideal, until I realized my best effort was enough. It wasn't flawless, but it was honest, and that felt so much better. Be gentle with yourself when things don't go as planned. Maybe your presentation didn't go off without a hitch. Someone interrupted or you stumbled over a word, but you still shared valuable ideas. Celebrate that effort, not just the outcome. Redefining success is key here. It's not about a flawless result. It's about the journey itself, filled with growth, lessons, and moments of courage. Imagine a painting. Sometimes the brushstrokes that go off script, the ones you didn't plan, add the most character, the most beauty. That's you, your quirks, your missteps, your humanity. They're what make your story unique. I started practicing this by sharing my imperfect work, a blog post here, a drawing there, and the feedback I got wasn't about the flaws, it was about the heart I'd put into it. Letting go of perfectionism doesn't mean lowering your standards. It means opening up a world where mistakes are opportunities to learn, where you can relax into the beauty of being perfectly imperfect. Try this. Next time you catch yourself obsessing over getting something just right, pause. Ask yourself, is this good enough to move me forward? Then give yourself permission to let it be. Surround yourself with people who value your effort, not just your polish. Those are the ones who'll cheer for the real you. The Stoics would say this is how you grow, not by chasing an impossible ideal, but by embracing the messy, beautiful process of becoming. So let go of the need to be perfect. Your story, with all its unique brushstrokes, is already a masterpiece in progress. Shedding unrealistic expectations. Finding beauty in reality. Let's dive into something that can weigh us down without us even noticing. Unrealistic expectations. We all set sail on life's journey with dreams and desires, don't we? Big plans for the perfect career, the ideal relationship, or a life that unfolds like a movie script. But sometimes those expectations grow into something monstrous, like sails swollen too large, catching every gust of wind and tossing us into stormy seas of disappointment and frustration. We chase perfection, in ourselves, in others, in every experience, imagining a world where everything falls into place just as we planned. But that chase? It's as futile as running toward a horizon that keeps slipping further away. I've been there, expecting every project to be a masterpiece or every friendship to be flawless, only to crash hard when reality didn't match the picture in my head. The Stoics, with their clear-eyed wisdom, would say it's time to let go of those illusions, to embrace the raw, unfiltered reality of life, imperfections and all. These unrealistic expectations often sneak in from the world around us, society's whispers, media's roars, telling us we should have the perfect job, the perfect body, the perfect partner by a certain age or stage. It's like we're handed a script we didn't write, pressured to play a role that doesn't fit. I remember thinking I had to have my career figured out by my mid-20s, as if life came with a checklist everyone else was nailing. Spoiler, they weren't, and I was wasting energy chasing a fantasy. The Stoics would urge us to step back and get honest with ourselves. Peel back the layers of should-haves and could-haves, and ask the tough question, what do I truly want? Not what the world expects, not what looks good on paper, but what resonates with who you are at your core. It's a gritty, sometimes painful journey, staring down your own limitations and life's unpredictability. But it's also liberating. It's like shedding a heavy coat you didn't realize you were wearing, freeing yourself to move with purpose. This process isn't a fairy tale transformation. It's real, raw, and takes courage. It means acknowledging that life isn't perfect, and neither are you. Maybe you expected to have your dream career by now, but instead, you've stumbled into a passion you never knew you had. A hobby, a side project, a new path that lights you up. Or maybe you thought a friendship would last forever, only to find its ending taught you what you truly need in a connection. Trust, respect, authenticity. Each step forward, each small victory, becomes a testament to your resilience. I let go of expecting every family gathering to be picture perfect, and you know what? I started enjoying the messy, real moments, the burnt dinner, the silly arguments, because they were ours. Letting go of unrealistic expectations doesn't just unburden you, it opens your eyes to life's unexpected wonders. You start to see the beauty in the imperfections, the lessons in the setbacks, the joy in the unplanned. The Stoics teach us to navigate life's ebbs and flows with an open heart, setting goals that align with our true selves, not some idealized version the world pushes. Try this. Next time you feel disappointed, ask, is this expectation mine or someone else's? Then focus on what you can control, your effort, your mindset, your next step. By releasing the weight of those impossible standards, you make space for a life that's authentic, vibrant, and deeply yours. It's not about reaching a perfect destination. It's about embracing the journey, every unpredictable, beautiful moment of it. Rising above gossip, cultivating kind connections. Let us wrap up with one last thing to let go of, something that can sneak into our lives and erode our integrity before we even realize it. Gossip. It's tempting, isn't it? You're at a gathering, maybe a coffee break with colleagues or a casual hangout with friends, and someone starts dishing the dirt. They were talking about a coworker, latest blunder at work, or a friend's messy breakup, spilling details with a gleam in their eye. It feels like a shortcut to connection, a quick way to bond over a shared, can you believe it moment. You might be tempted to jump in, add your 2 cents, and feel that fleeting spark of camaraderie. But let's be honest, does gossip really leave you feeling good? Or does it gnaw at your sense of integrity, leaving you wondering if you're sowing weeds instead of flowers in your relationships? I've been there, caught up in a juicy conversation, only to walk away feeling a little hollow, like I'd traded something valuable for a cheap thrill. The Stoics, with their sharp focus on living well, would say our words are like seeds. They can grow gardens of trust and respect, or spread weeds of negativity and division. When we choose kindness and understanding in our conversations, we create a space where true connection flourishes. Think about the last time you were part of a gossip session. Maybe it was a quick chat in the office kitchen, tearing down someone's mistake, or a group text piling on about someone's drama. Did it lift you up, make you feel proud of who you are? Or did it leave you with a subtle unease, wondering what others might say about you when you're not around? I remember joining in on a conversation about a colleague's misstep, and while it felt satisfying in the moment, it left me questioning my own character. The Stoics would urge us to pause in those moments, to take a breath before letting negative words slip out. Picture the person being talked about. They're human just like you, with their own struggles, their own triumphs, their own moments of doubt and joy. Maybe that co-worker who messed up is dealing with a personal crisis you know nothing about. Maybe that friend in the messy breakup is fighting to rebuild their confidence. Would you want your lowest moments to be the topic of someone's idle chatter? By choosing to step back, you're not just avoiding negativity. You're honoring our shared humanity, recognizing that we're all navigating life's challenges. Steering clear of gossip isn't always easy. It can feel tempting, even justified, especially when emotions run high. But here is a challenge. The next time you're on the brink of joining in, pause. Take a moment to shift the narrative. If someone starts gossiping, try redirecting the conversation to something positive, maybe a shared interest, a kind observation, or a funny story. Or if that feels too hard, simply step away. I started doing this, and it was like flipping a switch. People noticed and conversations became richer, more genuine. You're not just creating a better environment. You're lighting a path for others to connect in a way that is empathetic and real. The Stoics would say this is how you build a life of integrity, by choosing words that plant seeds of kindness, not weeds of judgment. It's a small choice, but it's powerful. It makes you a beacon of trust, someone who fosters connection rather than division. So let your words grow gardens, my friend, and watch how they transform your relationships and your heart. Bringing it all together, living the Stoic way. As we come to the end of this journey, let's pause and take a deep breath, reflecting on the path we've traveled together. We started with that all-too-relatable moment, a frustrating morning, coffee spilling across your notes, stress threatening to derail your day. From there, we embarked on a deep dive into Stoic wisdom, uncovering 11 powerful principles to release the habits and mindsets that weigh us down. We explored how to protect your peace by quietly stepping away from toxic relationships, choosing not to owe explanations to those who hurt you. We talked about focusing on goals that align with your true self, letting go of ones that no longer fit without broadcasting every shift. We learned the art of healing from breakups with dignity, keeping the intimate details private to honor your own growth. We discussed staying calm in heated moments, speaking softly when anger tempts you to shout, and choosing empathy over negativity when gossip tries to pull you in. We broke free from the comparison trap, learning to celebrate our own unique stories and approach social media with intention, guarding our time and mood. We shed the need for others' approval, embraced our imperfections as part of our humanity, and released unrealistic expectations that lead to disappointment. Finally, we let go of gossip, planting seeds of kindness in our conversations to foster trust and connection. Through it all, Marcus Aurelius' words have been our guiding light. Our life is what our thoughts make it. That's the heart of this journey. By letting go of these 11 things, you're not just clearing out clutter, you're shaping your thoughts, your inner world, into something stronger, calmer, and more aligned with the person you truly are. Each principle, rooted in Stoic wisdom, is a tool to navigate life's spills and storms with grace and resilience. Think about it. Which of these ideas hit home for you? Was it Epictetus's call to control your perceptions, reminding you to focus on your own path rather than someone else's highlight reel? Or maybe Seneca's nudge to use your time wisely, pruning goals that no longer serve you? Perhaps it was the image of speaking softly in a heated moment, transforming frustration into focus, or the freedom of letting go of perfectionism, embracing your quirks as part of your unique story. For me, it is the quiet power of choosing kindness over gossip, those moments when you shift a conversation to something positive and feel your integrity shine. I'd love to hear what resonated with you. Which of these principles sparked a shift in how you see your life? Maybe it's one big takeaway, like living for your own values instead of others' approval, or a small habit, like pausing before you scroll social media. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep this journey alive, sharing our stories and insights to grow together. If this spoke to you, if it lit even a tiny spark of change, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, give a thumbs up, and tap the notification bell. It's not about me, it's about us, building a community where we lift each other up, rooted in wisdom and growth. Life will always have its spills. Coffee mugs will tip, plans will falter, storms will brew. But with these Stoic tools, you're equipped to face it all with clarity and strength. You're not just surviving, you're crafting a life that's lighter, wiser, and deeply, authentically yours. So here's to you, to the steps you'll take, and to the stories we'll share along the way. Catch you next time, my friend. Keep shining.